Taylor Valentine is the Chief Acceleration and Invention Officer at Horizon Media, headquartered in New York City. He's an experienced business leader who's built his career within the functional areas of operational consulting, digital and social media, innovation, talent development, and early stage company growth acceleration. Taylor's one of those people that you meet that I sort of refer to as he's like the entrepreneur's entrepreneur. He's got that little bit of a mad scientist in him when you get to know him, and it's all good, not negative. He's not building monsters; he's building good stuff. And coincidentally, our history is deep. I'm not going to go into exactly what our history is. We've known each other an extremely long time. Taylor is calling us from his new digs somewhere in New Jersey. And we're not going to ask him exactly where, but he's squatting in his own home. But that's neither here nor there. Taylor, good to see you, buddy.
Great to see you, Dave. Thanks for having me, man.
Let's just jump in here. Something that we had talked about in previous conversations was this whole premise of winning the return as businesses start back up in earnest, as we turn the ignition on the truck and we try to get things going here. What's involved in winning the return, or to really totally mix my metaphors, sort of in basketball, we want to grab the rebound as things sort of come back at us. How do we re-engage? How do we win that rebound? How do we win the return? What's your 2 minutes on that?
Yeah, Dave. I love the phrase coined by my colleague Tony Menudo, and I just I think the important thing about winning the return is you have to be there throughout getting to the return. There is this tendency, and you can't help it with everything that is weighing on us these days, to maybe just recluse and say I'll show back up when everyone else is back. But if you show back up then and you haven't gone through what everyone else has gone through, and you haven't worked through the problems and understood the solutions and why the solutions are the solutions, then you missed it. And so I was like, hey, maybe I'll just take 2 weeks off and come back and revisit this. But it's not as simple. You need to go through it with your people. You need to work through the problems. And it's tough. This is a challenging time. This is a time that we all know is calling for leadership. And leadership informs in using muscle groups that we're not used to using. And I'm just so grateful to work alongside a number of colleagues who are leaning in, who are saying, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect, but we're going to figure it out. And really thinking about the health and well-being of our people, of our clients, and making sure that we acknowledge it's not going to be the same on the other end, and leave space for us to explore and figure out what that could be. Little things like where we work from. And people have been asking for this, but those who didn't like it or it was just too much change for them, held back for a long time. I think on one hand, we're all seeing the great signs of, hey, productivity, people are happy, they don't have to commute. But there are some, if you're not careful and you don't have a balanced conversation about it, you may miss some of the underlying risks
Mm-hmm.
that are.
I'm
We have to
curious.
talk about those things.
I'm curious. You obviously are knee deep, neck deep, I'll say, in all things digital, related to digital marketing and digital as a medium and the whole thing. And digital is being touted. We're being hit over the head in good ways and bad ways with how the role of digital in this brave new world going forward. And it's always we're being hounded on how big digital is. I want to flip it a little bit. What's the role of talent? What's the role of human beings going forward in this new era?
I think the role of human beings, Dave, is to be able to harness the digital. These are horses. The digital can understand many more variables than we as human beings can understand. In all of our lives, we're having to juggle a lot more right now, and it's inundating us. I experienced it firsthand, having built our social media practice at our agency. And today I look back on it fondly, but a little bit with some sullenness,
Mm-hmm.
because of all of the information that social media has forced us to take in. It's challenged us to actually be present. And I think that right now our job is to make sure that this digital technology, for example, what we're working on right now, the reason we're able to make this shift to the work from home in the services industry is because technology like Zoom and Microsoft Teams all exists.
Mm-hmm.
but it's not as easy as just flipping it on. How do we record from it? How do we get good sound? How do we get good lighting? How do you crop out the mess that I'm in the background?
All good.
It's I think we have to be willing to roll up our sleeves, see what the technology is, and then harness it for the good and to move things forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't, it can get in the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we need people who understand that technology is an enabler and are willing to take data not as insights, but to take insights from data, bring it forward, and lead with that. So that's what I'm hoping for.
And just to wrap up, Taylor, you get the question. What lessons have we learned or are we learning right now that we must not forget?
Yeah, it's a everyone's got a lot going on in their life, and life continued on throughout all of this. And then we added a pandemic. We added a huge focus on social inclusion and justice. We've added this challenge with our economy, and the one that has really struck me is about the world of equality and inclusion. And I've done more active listening, and so it's a little odd to be talking so much to you in the last 3 months than I have in the last 5 years. And I'm a big fan of Stephen Covey. I'm a big fan of seek first to understand and then to be understood. And I've been doing a lot of that, and a lot of active listening, a lot of reflective listening, um, a lot of empathy pouring forward and acknowledging that I'm a work in progress. I can always be better, and there's a lot going on systemically that we can't even see, even if we want to. So I hope that we will all continue to be good at seeking first to understand and then to be understood. It's an amazing skill, and it allows you to really meet people where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, I think we're apt to have better relationships and hopefully a better society.
That's fantastic. Terrific sentiment. Go with the Covey. That's excellent. Hey, so good to see you. Good luck with your New Jersey exploits, and my regards to your family.
Thanks, Dave. Come visit.
Maybe I will.